Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Carbotiques podcast series. This is podcast number 7, and we have the great pleasure of this illustrious team of people to share their experiences of Waxstock 2023. So if everyone in the room is ready, give me a thumbs up and we'll cue the intro. Okay, so a quick introduction to who we've got in the podcast today. Obviously, myself, TCB admin. No particular order. We got Rab Summers from Rab Reviews YouTube channel. Danny Swain from It's All in the Detail YouTube channel. Danny, congratulations on hitting 1,000 plus subscribers, young man. Top effort. I'm looking forward to celebrating 2,000. So well done, Danny. We've got Brian Lee's TCB moderator, Steve McMahon, Geeky Details on Instagram, and now Geeky Detail Reviews on YouTube, Steve, I do believe. So I'll post links to all this kind of stuff in the description. Nick Murby, TCB moderator, Sean Murph, Trigger Happy's Autos YouTube channel, and Karl Hampson, who's a TCB group member, but is also on, and I've had to write this down, Instagram, K1.01 Hamps. We're going to have a chat about that one, aren't we? We're going to have to get something a bit more exciting for people to remember. So we've got lots of people from the Carbotique. We've got Karl. What we need is an extra guest, and you can see we need to make this display a bit more symmetrical. So any ideas who the guest is that's sitting, listening to everything we're saying at the moment? Any ideas who the guest? I'll give you a clue. It's a brand owner.
Were they working at Waxstock?
They were working at Waxstock, yes.
Did they have a stall at Waxstock?
They did have a stall at Waxstock, yes.
I'm going Hugo.
Hugo from HB Source?
I am indeed.
Okay. Karl?
Well, I haven't got a clue, to be fair. I'm crap with names as it is.
Okay, Brian?
I'm going to Michael Weekly from Squid Ink.
Squid Ink, yeah. Nick?
Maybe one of the Infinity Wax boys.
One of the Infinity Wax boys. Okay, Sean?
Maldeep.
Maldeep, okay. Danny? Come on, Danny.
Rachel,
who do you reckon?
Detail Bug.
Rachel from Detail Bug, okay.
Rachel?
Rab?
I'll go with a random. Go with John Hogg from Angel Wax.
Okie dokie. Cool. Did I ask you, Steve? Did I? Have you given your?
You did. I say Hugo.
Okie dokie. Right. Okay. I'm now going to welcome our special guest in. Okay. So there you go. I've given it away, haven't I? Welcome to the podcast, Rachel from.
Hey guys, you're right.
Detail Bug.
Danny, you're my favourite person now.
I was getting a bit worried there, Rachel, because no one was saying your name, thinking, oh, no one said Rachel's name. Okay, so Rachel is our brand owner. She is the owner of Detail Bug Carcare, and you can go and have a look at her website, and you can find that on detailbug.co.uk. So, Rachel, I appreciate you're a very, very busy person, so thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're sparing the time with us. So the idea of this is basically for me to not do much talking, which is hopefully possible because I wasn't at Waxstock, but everyone else in the room was. So we've got quite a few, nearly the full team of TCB moderators. We've got a brand owner, Rachel, to give her perspective on Waxstock, and we've got Karl, who's relatively new to detailing, who basically went there as first time there as a customer. So I've got loads and loads of questions, but let's just see where this journey takes us. So this year, Waxstock 2023 was held on the 22nd and 23rd of July. I believe it was celebrating their 10-year anniversary of Waxstock. I believe I'm correct in saying that. And it was the first time they did a 2-day event. So there was lots of chatter last year about doing a 2-day event. And basically, I'm going to hand it over to you guys to let's talk about why did you go to Waxstock? What was your rationale behind it? And if you want to chat what you did and all that kind of stuff. And then I've got some decent questions to get a bit gritty in it. And then I've got some feedback from what I've heard on the internet about Waxstock, and I appreciate your opinions as well. So no particular order. Okay, so I'm going to go the conversation now. Probably some of you've noticed that Danny's disappeared. So we only just got into the podcast and he's got issues. So we're down to, what is it, 8? Okay, so I'm just going to go around the room and talk to people about their experience. So Steve, you were there. Did you got there on a Friday? You were definitely there Saturday and Sunday. You were heavily involved with Waxstock on the stage and all that kind of stuff. Do you want to share your experiences? Is it your second or third Waxstock, or?
So this was my second Waxstock. Obviously a first for me to be so heavily involved. And right out the back, I'd just like to say thank you for the team for inviting me in to be part of it. So it was nervous, but I was also, very excited. But I literally went, obviously one was because if anybody see it, we entered Nick's and his dad's Sierra Cosworth. So I spent some time with Nick, and look, they look after that car, spend loads of time with it, and it's in a very well-kept condition. Nick asked me to come over there and help machine polish it with him. So we did that. So yeah, anxious and excited and nervous to sort of bear all and show the work in front of, our peers, shall we say. But first and foremost, the reason I went there was to see everybody. As TCB, we speak regularly. We have a WhatsApp group where we share experiences and bits and pieces about TCB. But it was the first time I actually met, for instance, Sean and Karl, obviously. And for me, the people I met or the relationships I've built up over the last few years was actually great to finally meet them. So for me, the community was definitely the point or the reason why I went. And for me, it excelled. It was probably one of the best weekends I've had in a long time. And I know you'll touch on more throughout this, but I don't want it to be all about me. So, let's hear about some of the other views, because some of them was their first time there or and so on and so forth. So let's hear some of their thoughts on Waxstock, please.
Brilliant, Steve. Brilliant, Steve. Well, I'm going to dig deeper into your involvement, because I think a lot of people will be interested to see your work at Waxstock encapsulates what goes on at Waxstock, because you were heavily involved from start to finish on both days. So, yeah. Sean, was that your first time at Waxstock? Second time? I saw lots of photographs. You were doing stuff with people as well. So, talk to me, Sean.
Yeah. So, first Waxstock, never been before. I had to pinch myself really with all the excitement. It was just wow, blown away.
You were really excited with the lead out, wasn't it? It was literally every day you were counting the hours down.
Yeah, I was absolutely buzzing. But yeah, I was helping Geordie from Mile Deep. I was helping Dan at ODK out as well. So just pitching in, doing as much as I could for anyone really. And like Steve said, the main thing was just meeting up with people that you've spoke to. People tapping me on the shoulder, I had no idea who they are, and introducing themselves. And I think the main thing was just wearing a TCB t-shirt and just seeing what kind of everybody's just like, oh, you're from TCB, and just the sort of the what that holds in the enthusiast part of the industry is just phenomenal, really.
Were you getting people coming up to you as a result of Trigger Happy as well? Because that your YouTube channel is gaining traction. You're doing your own podcast and all that kind of stuff. Did you find that people were coming up to you and asking you about that as well?
Yeah, mixture, but mainly TCB. Don't have a lot of subscribers. I've not quite got 200 yet, but since Waxstock it started going up and getting more views and more subscribers. But yeah, mainly through TCB really.
Good, good. I'll drop links to everyone's social media and websites in the video description. So I'm going to come back to you again, Sean, because I know you've skimmed over your involvement, and I saw the photographs. You were a busy boy. So Nick, Steve's already alluded to it that you entered the Cosworth. Was that your main focus for the weekend? And how did the Cosy get on? Because I met up with you at was it the Farringdon Classic Car Show? We saw the Cosy there and everything. It looked good, but I know you and Steve, and I think your dad might have put some graft into prepping it. So why did you go Waxstock? Initial impressions, and how did the car get on?
Second year for Waxstock, completely different this year. Like I say, entered I think they call it the showdown. After last year, I really enjoyed it as a customer last year, and seeing some of the showdown cars, thinking Dad's Cosworth can definitely hold its own against these. So I think we booked tickets. I booked the tickets for it in January, thinking, I've got loads of time. And then me and Stephen ended up the Friday before Waxstock, finishing it off literally the day before. And then drove it up there in torrential rain Saturday morning.
Oh, no.
We made top 16 on Saturday, so that was our goal.
So you got the car inside then in the show.
Yeah. So I think as far as I was aware, you buy an indoor ticket, and I think there was 32 available. So all 32 cars get indoors, and then they choose a top 16 out of those 32.
Yeah.
Which then gets centre circle parking. So we made top 16, which we were over the moon about. Of course, you start running away. Then we call it pot hunting, but you think, I might be in with a chance of a trophy. So you try that little bit harder and a bit more cleaning. And as Stephen said, drying the car on Saturday, using cheap cloths, I ended up scratching the boot. It's like your world just falls apart because all that work, and I've just wiped the boot and put swirl marks all across the boot lid through just grabbing a cheap cloth out of a bag, which
just shows you, doesn't it?
It does. It proves
when
it.
When you're after that final level of finish, using a cheap car on not so good paintwork is not as noticeable. But when you're aiming for that concourse, that perfection, everything shows up, doesn't it?
Everything, and especially the lighting in there and a black car. So it was emergency station. Stephen, get your machine polisher out the car just to polish the boot lid. But it's strange because it's a completely different atmosphere when you're competing. You're obviously busy. Mainly I was on security duty, trying to make sure I know everyone's got an appreciation for cars that was there, but people walking around, there was one bloke who just bought a new flex machine, and he was walking around the car with the flex box in between him and the car. It just makes you so nervous you can't leave the car.
He should have gone and got Rab. He wouldn't have done that if Rab was next to your car.
But it was really enjoyable, but for a completely different reason to last year as being a customer.
Did you get much opportunity to go and look round the show as a customer, go around and because I know like us all, lots of people in the industry. Did you get to network like Steve was talking about, or were you really focused on the Cosy?
Yeah, focused on the car and the competition. As you know, we do concourse, and the competition really drives you to just improve, and then it makes you go around and inspect the other cars and think to yourself, wow, is that I did have a really good chat with one of the lads at Slim's. I bought a load of new microfibers from them because of the scratch boot. I went to the Ziva stand, contemplated spending a lot of money, and managed to walk away without spending any money, which was quite
done.
You did better than me then.
So on the car, do they give you feedback as to where you can improve for next year? Because when I was there last year, I know it's a detailing competition, but and this is me speaking my mind, I looked at some of the cars and it looked like a lot of people had just gone and put brand new parts on which made the car look good. Now, there's a difference between replacing old parts for brand new parts, which are naturally going to be perfect, and getting a car and detailing it, bringing it back to life. Do you see what I'm saying? And I know your car there's a bit of new stuff on it as well, but I know you and Steve and your dad have put hours into it. Do you know what you need to do to, be more successful next year, or are you just quite happy?
Yeah, as far as feedback, we got no feedback. It was a bit disheartening because I think all top three cars were trailered. So it was a little bit disheartening. But after I spoke with John, and he said we were asked questions when we arrived on Saturday about whether the car's driven or not, the mileage, has it been painted.
Do they factor that in? Do they?
Yes, yeah. So it made us feel at ease that some cars were trailered, some weren't. That made a difference in points.
I'll jump in there as well, because I was speaking to one of the judges, and they were saying that they deduct points for trailered cars.
Yep.
And as well, to eliminate any bias, they'll discard the very bottom and the very top results.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a really fair judging system. After speaking to one of the judges and how they do it, it's very fair.
Yeah, I mean,
it's realistic as well. It's a realistic model, I think.
Yeah, it was nice that they've taken that into consideration, that an older car against a newer car. The car that won the 5 Series, well-deserved winner. I walked on Saturday, just a quick walk round, and I picked it on the Saturday afternoon. I said to Dad, that's going to win, because it's now a car. But yeah, it was really enjoyable. Me and Dad love the competition. It just drives you. It makes the car better every time.
I saw the passion of your dad when we did the wax off competition, when he was trying to wax his out, and he is just at one. It's a cathartic experience for him, isn't it? He's there, totally zoned into him, the wax of the car, which is good.
And he loves the chat. Once the car's clean and it's set up, he loves a chat. And there were so many people. I mean, I think he ended up spending about 10 or 15 minutes with Specky, because Specky's quite clued up on his Fords and Cosworths, and they started reminiscing about old cars and things like that. And he just likes to speak to people with similar,
love it. Well, no, really, I was looking in and seeing the results manifest as the day went on. I was really pleased to see that you'd hit top 16. So well done, Steve. Were you going to jump in and say something there, buddy?
Yeah, I was just going to say that it was quite good the way they did the slide-in scale. They almost recap system with obviously cars, because I say there was so many. I'm not going to say there's so many issues. There's so many new cars or newer cars, which would be hard to put the Cosworth into the same, category, because it's got 33-year-old paint. It is Ford original paint, for 95% of the car. So I was glad that they took that into consideration. I guess you always want to win, or you hope that the sliding scale that they're using benefits, the people who've actually driven it and everything else. But no, it would be nice to see a copy of the questions or the results or the point system, knowing that ready for next year, because obviously I don't know how Nick feels on it, but I for one would certainly go again 100%.
Good points that Rachel made. Actually, I wasn't aware of that, and that's good that they've sort of tried to level it. They've factored in the fact that people have driven and all that kind of stuff. And just quickly, Nick, are you going to enter it next year, or did you miss the fact that you didn't get around to go around network? What's your aspirations for next year?
As much as I'd love to enter it again, I think I want to go as a customer again, and especially. Last year, didn't really know anyone. I was newish to the big detailing scene. And this year, it was so nice to, like you say, people just passing. Specky and Paul, Rachel, Michael from Squidding, just passing and having a conversation. And I think next year I might just go as a customer and just just network and work my way around.
No, fantastic, and well done on your achievements. I might enter the TT in next year, because I've got both door handles fixed now, and I've even taken the Rab Review sticker that was put on last year, all wonky. So we'll see about that. No, top show. Rachel, I'm going to come to you, because I was really keen to get you on this year, because you were on our mental health podcast. We still want to come and do a sort of females in detailing podcast. I've got quite a few people teed up for that. But it's been quite an eventful year for you this year because you've given up what was your full-time job, I do believe. You're now detailing full-time. I've seen some of the cars. You are getting some very, very nice cars. First time at Waxstock, brilliant year. And we've said on previous podcasts, Reputation Detail Bug is fantastic. So I'm sure we'll all agree that you deserve the successes. And the level of your work that's coming out of your studio is fantastic. Incidentally, I might be in the area in 3 weeks for a few days, so I might pop round and see you and buy some of your drying towels like I was meant to pick up.
Yeah, brilliant. That'd be great.
Same thing that happened last time. I'll pop round, say hello and all the good stuff. So talk to us about Waxstock then. First time at Waxstock, you were there last year. I did a quick interview as a brand owner. You had your own stall. How was it for you? And I suppose the question is, did it meet up with your expectations, or did you go there thinking, I'm just going to see what happens? Over to you, Rachel.
So I think my first year at Waxstock was 2017 or 2018. I can't quite remember. And that was as a consumer. And then 2019, 2020 didn't happen because of COVID. And then I did last year, which is when I spoke to you. So this was my first year trading. And it was just a totally different experience. So did it live up to expectations? I'm actually going to say no.
Okay.
Just because I purely missed the customer side of it, and being able to walk around and speak to all the different stalls and all the different brand owners that way. So I really missed that side of it. But in terms of then obviously my brand and people coming up to my stall, that was brilliant. It was fantastic.
Do you feel you were locked into your stand then? Did you feel that you had to stand there?
I think, exactly. You've hit the nail on the head with that. And it's just, it's that adjustment, isn't it? It's trying to get used to that. But the Saturday was good for that because it was limited tickets. That was more of the trade day. So that was a good chance to walk around and get to speak to people. I think that's when I bumped into you, Steve, and then Sean, you came over and said hi, didn't you? So yeah, no, it was good. It was just different. It's just different for me.
Was there a different dynamic? Because on the Saturday it was open 3 till 7, wasn't it? And then on the Sunday the main event was
that's right. So it was 3 to 7 on the Saturday, and it was the full day on the Sunday.
Yeah, and did many people turn up on the Saturday? I've read a few negative observations about Waxstock and we'll come back to it at the end about
for me,
the 2-day split thing.
Me and my partner Sam, we were sat at the stall on Saturday, and we were thinking, this is really, really quiet. So we were sort of questioning ourselves on the Saturday, and we kept saying to our neighbours, I think we were next to ODK, we had Jewel opposite us, and we had Carscope, and we were just speaking to them and thinking, this is really quiet. I hope it's really busy on the Sunday. But then you were speaking to some of the bigger brand owners. So I was speaking to at the trade dinner, someone from Flex, and they were saying they were really busy. So it depends, I think, on who your market was on that day.
Yeah.
And obviously, my brand, I don't really target trade users. I'll target prosumers at the most. But we're primarily we look at enthusiasts. So Sunday, totally different story. That was brilliant.
Are you planning to come back next year?
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent.
I wasn't.
I might turn up for that one. I haven't decided yet.
Oh, you should. Yeah. I wasn't looking at the show as a way to make money.
Okay.
It was more for the networking and getting my face out there and having that face-to-face interaction. That's what I truly valued and what I brought away from the show. Yeah.
Did you enjoy the Saturday night festivities?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I'll come back to that at the end because
we'll have to come back to that one.
I've never been privy to that, and I know.
I think that affected Sunday. Definitely.
You got to sample probably the casino's alcohol and large amounts of food and a lot of networking opportunities, which is really good. But no, really, really good that you enjoyed it. And I'm going to come back to this constant theme about, and we'll discuss it a bit. What is the purpose of Waxstock? And the more I hear, we've listened to Steve, Sean, Nick. Networking keeps coming up. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see what other people think about what is the purpose of Waxstock. Is it a show to sell detailing products? I'm getting the impression, and I went last year, it's not about that. And people who are thinking that maybe are missing the point about what it's about. That's just my opinion. So, yeah, go for it.
Just said it's one of the only times of the year when you get to spend a lot of time with people with the shared love for detailing, because it is a solo sort of hobby as such, or very low numbers, and to be somewhere with such high numbers of people that share the same passion, it's just a really exciting weekend for, like I say, just socializing.
Yeah, Steve.
One thing I'd like to touch on, I know nobody really in the detailing world are famous as such, but one thing with social media, with people being present, for instance, TCB, all of us on here have got a YouTube channel or have got a social footprint on Instagram or somewhere along those lines. For me, when we're going out to meet the community, as I say, it wasn't always about buying something, but I already knew Rachel. I already knew Rab, regardless of TCB. I already know Michael, I already know these people. I was lucky enough to spend the evening with Chicago Auto Pros. If anybody knows those people, they're people we watch on the TV, which as soon as you see somebody on TV, almost puts them on that sort of, I know detailing is such a niche project, but it almost puts them on some sort of pedestal. For instance, you're sort of meeting, I'm not going to say, somebody famous, but they are famous because you do see them on some sort of social media platform. And for me to go out on the 2 days and the evening and to meet some of those people I follow, it's not really anywhere else you can do that. You meet the people that you want to socialize with or that you admire their work for. And for that reason, for me, a 2-day event, if it was to be done exactly the same, I for one would be going, because I love both days. I think on the Saturday, I heard some of the guys on the tickets or the registers, this is just a chat. This might not be in the end of the night, and this probably didn't count walk-ins. Somebody said around 1,700 and around 3,500 to 3,700. I heard from some of the ticket guys for the both days. So around the 5,500 without walk-ins. So for me, I think that was a good event. But one thing I have taken back to Dom and a couple of the others already, and we are in talks, as I say, in the background, was there was quite a few people I know through Instagram and again social media that actually live around Coventry, Worcester, Tamworth, around those areas. They didn't know that the event was going on. So I think,
really,
they said to me, I wish I'd have known and I'd have been there. So again, maybe with the social media presence, it's free as such. I'm not going to say it's free because everybody makes content, has to give their time, but you know what I mean? Maybe 2024, we can get it out there a bit more and it's only going to grow bigger and bigger. Well, I hope it does. That's my take on what I've picked up on so far. And saying I'm glad in the background, some of the people from social media, YouTube and everything else, as they're rallying around in the background, I hope, to try and spread the word and to bring more stuff.
I'm going to come back to that point, actually, because it's one of my things to discuss about YouTubers and the relationship they have with Waxstock, because you've pretty much nailed on it. I've got to talk to Karl, Brian, and Rab. Karl, I'm going to quickly come to you. You've been into detailing 6-7 months. You've helped me out with a couple of detailing videos. You have got the bug seriously badly. He's like a sponge. I know Karl talks to Steve a lot. I'd actually say that Karl, and I've talked to Steve about it, there's a bit of hero worship between Karl and Steve, because every time I say something, I've talked to Steve, and I'm going, boring. Okay, but just there's some man love going on there, but I don't want to embarrass you, Karl. First time at Waxstock. Talk to us about your experiences, because I know you were buzzing coming back from it, and I think you enjoyed it a lot.
Just first thing to point out, that sounds like jealousy, Andy. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
I'm not telling you the relationship me and Steve have got, because you would be jealous. But anyway, it's not about me.
It was my first time. I was basically like a child in a sweet shop, to be fair, when I walked in there. My eyes widened. First thing I glimpsed was Nick's Cosy, which took me back to childhood. And then I think I walked around the place 10 times. I didn't know what to do with myself, really. But yeah, it was a hell of a insight.
You brought your son along as well, didn't you? You brought your son along as well. Did your son enjoy it as well? Because you brought him along.
Yeah,
as well.
He loved it. He loved his machine polishing. Those I haven't seen the video. Yeah, he really enjoyed it. He's massively into cars, maybe not so much the detail side, but he was blown away by a lot of the cars there. He was taking lots of photos of them. So yeah, it was just an absolutely phenomenal day, and it was just great to catch up, like many have said already, catch up with many of the guys. I will say that some of them I didn't have the, this is strange because I'm quite a confident person, but I actually was quite nervous going up to some people. Nick, I didn't come up to you. I do apologise, but there was Sean the Chef.
What's wrong with Nick? Nick's
there's nothing wrong with Nick. He's bloody huge though. But he's Sean the Chef from Abstract Detailing. Obviously, I've spoken to him quite a bit over the times, and I felt nervous going up to them. Obviously, saw Rachel in her store again.
Did you buy anything, Carl? You better.
No, I didn't buy anything because
Sorry, Rachel.
I feel really bad now. She's up here. But
that's just human nature, though, isn't it?
It is.
And I was exactly the same. I saw so many people I recognised, and I was like, "Oh, I can't do it." It's just a confidence thing, isn't it?
What do you think that is? Because I've thought about this a lot when I've met some people at Waxstock. There is this shyness, but is it because we see people on YouTube and I don't know? Yeah,
because you kind of feel like you know them, you know them, but they don't know you. So
that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Very good point.
It is,
and it's social media. It's so easy to type away what you're thinking, what you're saying, but it's a completely different step when you're actually going to speak to someone face to face. So I think that got to me a little bit, but the event was just amazing. I can't wait for next year, to be honest. Yeah, just a bigger budget for next year.
I'll come to Steve in a minute. What was I going to say? Did you find that we've all got everyone's got a persona, a YouTube persona, and I personally, if you know me, I'm the same on camera. But even then, there's a persona. Did you find that the people that you'd viewed on YouTube were exactly the same in real life? Or because I've met some people thinking, bloody, oh, excuse me, I'll beat that one out. You're a bit different to what you are on camera. Or did you find that actually they're exactly the same in real life as they are when they go in front of a camera?
So for me, the people I did meet, say Rab, obviously Steve, Sean, Brian, and that there was no difference to who I see. I know Brian doesn't have a YouTube channel, but no different from what I thought who they were going to be. Again, I didn't get the guts to speak to Specky or Paul. I would have loved the chance to.
Steve will introduce you next year. He'll grab you.
Yeah, it was the guys that did get me up. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed having a chat with them, and they made me feel a lot easier being there. Because with being a beginner, there was a little bit of this maybe being out of my depth a little bit. But I can't say anything more than thank you, because they made me feel welcome in that environment.
That's everyone in the room will agree. That's I'm not big in Car Boutique. That's the founding premise of the Car Boutique. It's friendliness. Okay, and it's not just what happens in the Facebook group. It's what happens when we meet people and all that kind of stuff. So that's nice to hear.
I bet if you went up to any brand owner, and I mean any brand owner, if you said, "I'm a beginner, help me out," they would.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm still disappointed you didn't buy anything from Detail Bug. But anyway, I'll let you and Rachel talk offline and discuss. It's free postage and packaging over orders of £50. I was on her website today, so I'm all over it. Okay. Oh, Rachel.
I've got to say, this show is not sponsored by Detail Bug.
No. You're my only brand owner, so you're getting it down double barrel. I'm going to come on to Brian and Rabu be patiently waiting. And just quickly, Rachel, talk to us about your relabeling. What's the genesis for that? Because I see you've changed your labels. Is that just what's the reason for that? Because I quite like the previous labels. Is there
it's just to make it clearer. Yeah, it's just to make it clearer, to be honest.
Excellent. Good stuff.
And people don't read. People never read.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get emails all the time asking, what do you dilute the wheel cleaner to? And it's like, have you read the label?
Aggressive, but I like your style.
Yeah, sorry,
Right then, is this second time at Waxstock, is it? Or did you go
second time, yeah.
Yeah. How did you find it? Compare it last year, if you will. What did you do? What did you get from Waxstock?
I preferred it this year. Last year I was new. I was so overwhelmed. It was unbelievable. Like, last year we were stood in the bar and Paul Dolden walked by and I was like, oh wow, look, there's Paul Dolden. This year I'm like right up. All right, Paul, how you doing? It changed completely.
This year people will walking past you going, oh my God, there's Rab Reviews. See, it's all changed, doesn't it?
I get stopped a few times for people, and you know how I'm rather blunt, and they're standing there talking away to me, and I did have to say a few times, who are you? But then when they said who they were, I was like, oh, you're right, yeah, I know now. The Saturday I thought was brilliant because it was a case of get in, speak to people, get around all the brands, spoke to Rachel, I pretty much met all of yous. For me, the Saturday was for networking, and Sunday was. On a Saturday, I spoke to all the people and the brands that I wanted to. Sunday was to catch some of the ones that I didn't, but at the same point, to go back and get the items that I wanted to get instead of just making a decision to buy everything I possibly could. I didn't actually spend that much money this year, which I was quite surprised about.
That's surprising because last year I can remember constantly seeing you walk out to your car, offload, come back in. I think you said to me you'd been to your car about 3 or 4 times. So
5 or 6 times last year.
This year.
Once this year.
And you were sticker bombing.
Sorry, Rachel.
He was sticker bombing everyone, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was indeed.
Yeah, well, initially I got Specky. Like within a minute of coming into the car park, I spotted his car, I abandoned my car and I stickered him. And as we were standing in the queue, he walked past, like shouted him over, shook his hand, and I had the picture on my phone already because I was showing somebody else like, oh, by the way, got you.
Good.
It was just that way. And then Infinity Wax, Michael had actually told all these people, do not tell him what vehicles are ours. I did ask one of them, and they're like, I've been told not to tell you. There was one lad that didn't know who I was, so whilst I was standing outside, I just watched to see what van he went to, then I went and stickered them.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Did you put them on straight this year, or they what? Because the one that you put on Becky's car was wonky like mine.
It's got to stand out.
That's
You've got to notice it. But yeah, this year, getting to speak to people, even down to walking into the garage therapy stand, and Maz was right over saying hello to me. Is it Faz? Was one of these other guys?
Yeah.
Faz.
Yeah.
Faz. He came over, he was talking to me, and he was like, "Oh, I was watching your videos last night." That was quite humbling for me because I was actually quite taken back with that. And then I had a really, really nice conversation with Maz as well. So it was an absolutely phenomenal weekend. Still buzzing from it and got a lot to test out now.
Absolutely. Looking forward to your reviews. Looking forward to some more Rab reviews. You know, I get excited when I see you've got a new one on.
Yep.
Good times, good times. Brian, sorry you're the last one, but someone had to be last. You were at Waxstock last year, went predominantly as a customer this year, but you know everyone. So talk to us about your experience on Waxstock 2023.
Yeah, well, like I say, 22 was meeting up with you guys more than anything last year. We had a meet up, got a bit of merch and whatever. Yeah. Rachel, I must have walked past you 23 times, if not more, and I still never got in there to talk to you. It's amazing. I read the way the small businesses there this year was great. It was really good. I spent a bit of time with, you know, like the Maldi, then we moved on to ODK. So every time I went past Rachel, she was always, like she says, you've got to put it out there, haven't you? It was just making it right.
She wasn't busy selling stuff to Karl, I know that, so it must have been everyone else. Sorry.
But no,
I'm terrible.
I tell you what, I've got to jump in though, Brian. You talking about Hugo? I've got to say thank you to Sean and Hugo Brown for the Bumblebee wax.
Beautiful.
So I just want to say, especially thanks to Sean, because that really made the day for me when he brought that up to me.
You're welcome.
Well done, Sean.
You're welcome. There's only me and you with that wax, so yeah. Cherish that.
I know. I feel special.
It's always a learning day.
Absolutely. Sounds like you're a busy man. A couple of bits I'm going to pick up on there. I just want to go back to Steve and Sean, really. Sean, you were helping out with Mile Deep. How did that go? Did you enjoy being part of a brand, interacting with at that point customers? Did you enjoy that? Do you want to do that sort of thing again, or are you happy being there? Rotate round, because you were buzzing, weren't you? You were seriously buzzing before, during, and after. So how did you find working with Jody and his team on the day?
Yeah, I mean, it started early. I think I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, buzzed over to him, picked up all the stuff, and then we cruised down. It rained. We got everything set up. We were dripping with sweat. It was horrible. It was stressful. But yeah, once we were all set up, it was nice to be part of something. And to be fair, if you asked Mr. Hugo's lovely wife how much time I actually spent helping Jordan, she'd probably tell you not an awful lot. Because
you were right next to them, weren't you? You were right next to the shot that they do. Yeah.
Yeah, we were right next to it, and we had a great laugh. It was just such a good time. But yeah, I didn't spend that much time helping him, to be honest. I was running around, I was just lost. I was just like a kid in a sweet shop, like Karl said, and just trying to see all these people. And oh god, yeah. But it was really good, and I would do the exact same thing again next year. And to be able to do anything to help any brand is something that I've always been keen on.
Because you didn't just help out. Sorry to interrupt. You didn't just help out Mile Deep. Correct me if I'm wrong. You helped people pack up at the end. Other brands, was it ODK? Have I got that wrong? Or you really got stuck into the whole ethos of Waxstock. People getting together, helping each other out, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I did help Dan out for a couple of hours on the Saturday. Just sat in for him if he wanted to have a bit of a mooch round. Obviously, sat on the Sunday, I helped, me and Geordie helped him pack down. I think I moved a few boxes for Rachel, if I'm not mistaken. Just anything I could, really.
Didn't sell anything to Karl. She had lots of stock to take home.
Yeah, true. True.
Karl is so buying from Rachel next year.
No, because at pack-up time, we couldn't actually get our van into the arena, so we had to handball everything outside.
You're joking.
Yeah, no, it was. We didn't have to carry it that far, but Sean and Sean and Cher as well. They did a lot helping it, so
brilliant.
Made short work of it. It's brilliant. Team effort.
That's the way it should be. That's absolutely, and that's the flavour I'm getting from the whole thing. Steve, I know, you were very busy, but I think it's important. We need to know what you did this weekend, because you were very, very busy. Let's face it, the success of Geeky Detailers on Instagram has gone turbo this year, and fully well deserving. And I'm glad you've listened to people and you're now doing your YouTube channel, and that I'm sure is going to evolve over the next 12 months. It's a different beast though, isn't it? YouTube and Instagram. But talk to us through what you were doing, because you were on stage, you were doing stuff with Specky, Paul, Hairy Housewife, and all that kind of stuff. But just give us a flavour as to what Steve McMahon did over Waxstock, because I think it deserves to be talked about.
So thank you first and foremost, Andy, as always. So yes, I have started my YouTube channel and I'm just allowing it to tickle over in the background. So there's no plug here. I just want it to try and grow organically. Get some editing skills, as you know, from yourself and a few others, hopefully yourself, when we get a minute together to get it done. I'm not going to say perfect, but try and polish up some skills. But yeah, back to Waxstock. I was lucky enough to be involved and asked with Nick to get involved with the Cosy. So that took up some of the morning. And then obviously when we could get in, then it was full steam ahead, literally sweat running off us to get it done. But that was not the reason why I was invited there. I was actually invited by Waxstock to do live reviews. So as you touched on, that was me, Specky, Paul, Hairy Housewife, and Bert. So we were going to be doing or picking a select few products that we bought, which we did ourselves. And on the first day, the Saturday, we were interacting with people. Luckily, Glipton were next to us. So they chucked Paul a bottle, who wrapped it up, who chucked it to me to then do sort of a live review on the product there and then. We were put towards, or we were the last hour of the day. So I think by then on the Saturday, most people had gone. But some of the people, or shall I say, one of the, some of the notes I just wrote down, some of the TCB members, some of the TCB, group people, they stayed, they hung around. And just to reverse back to when I put my hand up, I just want to touch on how nice it was, because obviously I've had my merch done, Geeky Details and TCB. I've had the both done myself, sort of thing. One thing people keep asking, can I buy them? So that's lovely. But yeah, back to the reviews. Luckily, Steve,
the hoodies have arrived. And I can tell you that because they were delivered to Karl's house in a big box. Was it yesterday or the day before?
It was Friday, I think it was.
Friday. Okay, so they will be going out to everyone that ordered. I've ordered about over £1,000 worth of extra stuff as well. So the Carbatique ones, once I've sent it to everyone that's already paid, we will be putting them on sale. So thank you for the plug. Now expect to sell them all. Carry on, Steve. Well done.
Yeah. So no, that was from the TCB members, probably about 50% of them. By the way, everybody who's listening to this podcast who were there and took the time to come up and speak to us, thank you very much. I couldn't even go 20 meters without somebody running over, trying to grab a photo and everything else. So really humbling. Thank you. But yeah, so Saturday was review day and Sunday was review day. So with the people mentioned was duplicated again on the Sunday. Some of the products we took and some of the products we were gifted by local stores in and around that area. I'm going to say it was good. It was okay. We've definitely got ideas to evolve it next year. Andy, I'll take that offline with you with where we're going to go with it. But I think from a social media content, it's going to definitely evolve. And obviously the review side, where I'm heavily involved, I've got quite a few ideas. So I'll run them by you, because I think people will be definitely more interaction with TCB members, Waxstock attendees, and brands is where I'm going to leave it there for the minute.
How did you find doing the live stuff? Because when you're doing a review, let's face it, we pretty much all of us do reviews. We video it and then we can edit it. Live, you're in front of people. Okay, there's no hiding. You're exposed. Were you nervous about doing the live stuff, or was it nervous on the Saturday? Then you loved it on the Sunday. How did you find doing an assessment of a product live in front of, like you said right at the start of this podcast, in front of our peer group? And that peer group will be professional detailers, brand owners, enthusiasts, beginners, and everything. How did you find that? Did you enjoy it?
I was actually buzzing. I was more anxious about the Cosworth, bearing all to see the work over the reviews, because I do so many reviews, because I test, and I'm lucky enough to test hundreds and hundreds of products like we all are. I was actually fine with that. And I wasn't trying to be tripped up. It was just sharing, like we do on our reviews, sharing my personal experience with that product. Again, there's too many different variables. People could use it different. They could use a different power microfiber. There's over-apply it, under-apply it. But yeah, the products that I was given, that I done my live on, actually was very, very good. I've got to do, they actually give it to me to take away to do a full review, which I got bored of carrying it. So I've put it in Nick's. We went in the back of the Cosy, I think, to make its way home. So he's currently got it at the moment. And that's a product from I mentioned in Glipton. So that side of it, I think it could have been done better. Now, that's no fault of anybody else. This was the first time live reviews were done. And luckily, with the amount or the group of people that were involved, have all had their ideas, and it will definitely evolve. And I think we will definitely get people more involved next year, and it will definitely evolve.
I'm going to throw up a picture post-editing, and it's a picture of you going like this. There's Paul Dolden kneeling down in the car, and there's hairy housewife putting some kind of cloth on his head. We're not seeing it now, but I'm going to edit it in. Just quickly talk us, because that is I was almost going to use it. I might say it as some kind of caption competition. What was the story behind that photograph?
It was actually a surreal moment. I don't actually remember the picture being taken. I think I know,
the one I'm on about, though, don't you?
I do indeed. Yeah. So it was a picture of me in the background, because Darren is polishing Mr. Dolden's head.
Right.
So it just seemed that all the stars aligned, I was stood in the back shaking my head with my hands, hands over it. And Darren's polishing Mr. Dolden's head. But just to touch on, it was so great to meet the guys. I speak regularly to all of the people concerned in that review group. Not so much Darren, but obviously Specky and Paul. We speak daily, I would say. And I've never met them in person. And just like everybody else has said,
what was it like working with them? Because Specky and Paul have been doing Waxstock for quite a few years. Did you enjoy working with those two guys?
Honestly, the two most loveliest blokes you'd ever wish to meet. They are just the same as us. They're quite easily TCB members. Everybody's heard about TCB, and I just want to touch back on everybody came up to us. Nobody had a bad word, and it was really humbling again to say how proud they are. The brands, you're TCB. Oh, wow. Really great group. Can't believe you've managed to do it. Can't believe I'm not going to swear. Can't believe you've managed to keep the beeps out of it, and so on and so forth. So, again, that's great work to all the admin and moderators, and obviously all the people within the group.
Brilliant. No, really good. And a top job, Steve. Okay, I know there's a lot of work beforehand for working on Nick's car and everything. Sorry, Carl, you got your hand up, mate.
Yeah, just sort of go over a little bit what Steve said. Obviously, as you said, I'm right at the beginning of my journey, and it's only from the members, not just the moderators, but the members as well of TCB, they've given me the confidence to progress in my journey. And, from giving the reviews on the TCB Facebook page to actually coming in helping you in some of your videos and giving my honest feedback, that's only down to yourselves and the guys that are part of the Facebook group. They've given me that confidence to move forward.
That's nice to hear. Have you got your hand up, Sean, or are you just putting your arm out to stretch it?
Just chilling.
Excellent. Good. That's good to hear, Carl. And like I say, we're all. I've said this on some of my rabbits when I reply on stuff. That's all the car boutique's about. And I know there's brand owners. I know Rachel's a brand owner, and it's bringing money. Taken in isolation, the car boutique is just about people who like to keep their cars shiny. You know what I mean? It should be fun. It should be engaging. It should. There's too much negativity out, and it's so refreshing to hear all of you talking positively of the networking, the sharing, the helping, the coming up to people and all that kind of stuff. And that I'm going to go down. We've done an hour. I can edit in and edit out. Is everyone happy to keep talking for a little bit? Are they? I've got your time. A couple of things I want to talk about is my observations. Well, not my observations. What I've seen on social media. And the question is, what is Waxstock for? And I've heard, like I said earlier, some people have said it's professional. You don't get professional detailers go up there. You go there. Enthusiast is that bag thing? Question. It's a social event for YouTubers to get together. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? What do you think if we had the owners, John and all that kind of stuff? What is the purpose of Waxstock? Is it a massive networking thing? Is it to promote the positive side of the detailing industry? Is it to sell products? What do you all think, Rachel? What do you? I'll come to you first.
I think it's just a massive tax write-off for alcohol.
Beautiful, love it. And everyone's agreeing. That was a really quick question.
No, it's networking, isn't it? From my perspective now as a brand owner. It's getting your image out there, your face out there, and then even if someone just buys one bottle, they're going to use that bottle and go, "Oh, I really like that," and then they've become a customer then for life, hopefully.
Yeah.
Same with other brands. So I bought off other brands, and these brands were like, "Oh, who are you? I'll come over and have a look after," and then they end up buying things. So it's sort of trading products in a way. I think. What did I buy? The Hagen carcare, those sponges. Have you seen them?
Saw you talk about them, yeah.
I've been using them, and I absolutely love them. And I couldn't justify buying those sponges and paying the postage just for a couple of items. But because they were there on the day, I thought, right, I'll give them a try, and they were half price, and they're brilliant. So it's that networking, isn't it? And then I think one of the owners of that company has been buying a couple of products off me over the past couple of days. So it's.
Do you think
that's where the value is?
Do you think it's important to humanize your brand for people to see the person or persons behind your brand?
100%. That's it.
I can remember saying this on a podcast about a year ago. I think that is so important. It's unbelievable.
Especially if it's such a small brand as well, and you're just one or two people.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do, isn't there?
Yeah. Nick?
Yeah, I think as a consumer, I think it's brand recognition and recognizing a brand to its owner, like you, Rachel. And if you have a little chat, it's just nice to put a face to a name and an actual person to the business. Maybe not the bigger brands because they just work for the company, but definitely the smaller brands putting a face and a name to the brand. It just makes it a bit more personal.
Yeah, I mean the evidence for that is obvious. I mean, you look at Steve's engagement with Infinity Wax. You know, there's a relationship, there's a friendship there. Rab, you've gone up and had visits with Mitchell and King and all that kind of stuff. You know, Rachel, I've been away with my job, and luckily I've been 200 meters away from her studio. I'm going around there. You know, Sean, you know, his relationship with Jodie, Maldeep, and ODK, and all that kind of stuff. So you know, I'm getting to the stage where I've got free rein as to what I go and buy, and of course the products need to work, but I'd say 70% of my buying direction is the relationship I've got with a brand. You know, really it should be 90% performance. Who cares whether they want to talk to you? But as an enthusiast, it's not just about the product. It's that rapport with the brand, getting to know them, meeting them at Waxstock, talking to, and all that kind of stuff. It is so important. And I 100% think faceless brands, they're unless they're products are outstanding, they're going to struggle. And I've said this from the start. And I think most of the brands are realizing the worth of social media, the worth of getting their name out there, the worth of going to Waxstock so people can come and talk to them. And that's my opinion. I think, you know, as a non-brand owner, if I was launching a brand, I'd want my name. I'd want to be out there meeting people, and hopefully my personality and my enthusiasm for the brand will help sell the product and all that kind of stuff. Sean, did you have your hand up, buddy? I'll come to you in a second.
Yeah.
Right, Sean.
So, I mean, obviously I've seen some of the comments like yourself about, you know, people questioning what Waxstock is, what it's aimed at, who it's aimed at. It is aimed at enthusiasts, in my opinion. That is exactly what it is about. Professional detailers, valeters, they buy, you know, in my opinion, a lot of cheaper products from, you know, your Autosmarts, them kind of companies, big bulk stuff. They're not interested in meeting the guy or the girl behind the brand. That's not what they just want to get paid for the job. As enthusiasts, we do want to invest in people. We're interested in the person behind the brand. Where's our money going? You know, every time you buy products, you want to make sure it's putting, you know, food on the table for the children, and, you know, not necessarily making sure they've got a new supercar lined up for next year. And for me, that's what Waxstock was about, meeting these people and getting, you know, you do meet them on social media and you get a bit of background, but when you can sit and talk to them for a little while, you get to know a little bit more about them, and you see what they're about. They're really decent people. And I think for me, that is the heart and the soul of what Waxstock is. And yeah, it might not suit what other people are interested in, but for me, that's exactly what it is. And for that reason, I think Waxstock will continue to be a success.
You've got to leave your ego at the door at Waxstock, haven't you?
Yes, 100%, Rachel. And that was so eloquent, Sean. You're getting a phone call from the organisers next year. You're definitely going back there. No, absolutely spot on. Couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely. Rab.
So yeah, I've saw a lot of those comments as well. Obviously not going to name names, but it's the same people. But at the end of the day, I saw one post that the same people were on it saying, "Oh, the Saturday should have been for professional detailers only." Now, granted, one person did actually turn around and question them and say, "So if it's for that and if it's not about this, what should it be? What would you like to see?" They couldn't answer it because no matter, even if they did get their own way, they're still never going to show up because they're so narrow-minded. Waxstock is for everybody, whether you're a professional, whether you're retired, whether you're starting. Because if they say that there was not one stand there designed or aimed towards a professional detailer or a valeter, then they never stop by the Autosmart, because, I mean, you see the back of their van, they've got the hoist for lifting in the big drums in and out. They've got pretty much every product. They're in every car wash you can find. Their products are decent enough. So, I mean, there is something for everyone. But there's always going to be that select few people that want to have their say as to what it should be, but will never actually do anything about it or never actually attend it, which is a shame. But you're always going to get some of them.
I know the post you're on about. I don't know if you saw the massive spiel I put in it. If you haven't, go back and have a read. But it was on about what is Waxstock about. It wasn't for professional detailers, and the point that came up, which caught my attention, was it's, and I'll be quite honest, and I can say this because I am one. It's just a meeting place for YouTubers to go and have a drink and all that kind of stuff. And then I thought to myself, you know, you've got the owners of Waxstock have invited people like Steve, Specky, Paul, and all that kind of stuff to come do it. Why have they done that? Let's look, and this is I'm getting on my high horse. Let's look who is positive to the detailing industry. Let's look at who is enthusiastic about it, who shares their knowledge, who does reviews, who networks and everything. If I was running Waxstock, I'd be tapping into that enthusiasm myself to try and promote the detailing sort of industry at the best. I wouldn't be going to people who are negative about detailing. Can you see what I mean? I don't know if you have thoughts.
It's free marketing at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. You know, it's not taking advantage of it, but. You are putting that message out there that this show exists for people like us who are passionate about car care.
And there was a blend of YouTubers and professional detailers, I believe. I think, Carl, you were talking to me about it. So there was a blend there anyway. Carl.
So, yeah, going back to what you want those people, you want your positive influencers. I know you hate that word, Andy, but it is that. Because
me too.
Okay, YouTubers, sorry there. But the fact is, you want positive people there. You want the detailing world to, but you want the detailing world to grow, because you want people to love what we all love. And negative people aren't going to do that. So you want the positive people there. You want the people that are reaching out to the masses and all that, and trying to grow this world that we all love. So why wouldn't you? That just senseless.
And people that watch YouTube are sensible people. Okay, you know, they've got free choice as to who they listen to. They've got free choice whether they want to listen to Steve, whether Andy, Sean, you know what I mean? They're not idiots, people out there. You know, and there's such a myriad of people who do reviews. Some are professional detailers, some are keen enthusiasts, etc. I think we need to give the people that watch YouTube a bit more credit than what some people give them. Steve?
I think you've touched on it already just a second ago, but the people in question were the people that didn't even turn up. I've heard people have told me, look, move on. We're cleaning cars. We enjoy it. We're passionate about it. If we want to do it, if we want to turn up, if you want to go, go. If you don't want to go, don't go. But the main thing would I go again? 100%. Networking, as you said, for creating content. I gathered some content. I got more ideas for more content. So from that point of view, why not? I got to meet some of my very good friends, and I will call them very good friends, who are obviously all in front of me now, and the people that listen to the podcast and are part of the group, and all the brands and that we did get to meet on that day. So was it success for me? Massive success. Meeting people, doing what I do best, like now, talking a lot. Can't fault it. Loved it.
Good time. Sure. Sorry, Brian.
But it does give these little brands a go, like we was earlier. The little brand, the bloke arguing with the sponges. We didn't ever saw one of them. Had we not been there and seen this bloke before. I think it's probably 60% on here who actually bought one. I bought the other little attachments, which I'm going to try next week. But the sponge.
I've got them here actually. These things.
Yeah. I've just put. Well, I can't see them, but
have you used the big ones on the wheels yet?
Yeah, but when they dip them in the water, you can't believe how soft that sponge was.
Yeah, they're fantastic, aren't they?
They invented the sponge, which 90% of it would have gone, sponge? Would we ever use one? So it gives this company a chance to prove something to us who like to do a bit of cleaning.
Absolutely,
and Rachel and all the other little companies, not just the big. Yeah, they should all be there because they've all got a market to head towards. But
Brian, you keep calling Rachel's a small brand, but if Karl had bought some stuff, she'd be a medium-sized brand by now. So I'm just saying. Right. Anyway,
I get it.
I wasn't there. I've got to have some fun here. And listening into you guys, I just something comes in my head, and I think I'm just going to pick on Karl. Karl can take it. Oh, we've lost Brian. We've lost Brian. Just a quick one. I mean, Brian will come back in a second. He's totally disappeared. What did we all buy? What did we all, Steve? We lost Brian. He's disappeared. And what did we all buy from Waxstock? Because I did ask you to bring if you brought anything with you. Oh, sorry, Rab.
No, I was saying I'm actually, based on what you were talking about, it's hard to put into words what the whole Waxstock thing means for everybody. But for me, it's just getting to meet people. But Sean, he turned around and said to me, he's like, you don't know what it means to me to actually meet you. I'll admit I don't. I don't get why people were so excited to see me. Probably they were waiting for me swearing or saying something that would be kind of typical me. But one thing I'm looking forward to is the video coming out from VP of Steve's reaction to the dry helmet. Because that was recorded, and I'm looking forward to seeing that video.
Good stuff. No, it's good that you.
Yes,
I haven't got a clue what you're on about. I'll just have to wait and watch the video.
I'm sure. When you see the video, you'll understand. Jodie sobered up after it. Dan ended up with a headache. Quite a few people get caught with it, but it was just all a bit of fun. Although Stephen and Nick didn't quite see it that way. With the kick off,
it's like smelling something, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you've opened up a ceramic coating and took a big sniff of it. That's tenfold.
I did see the picture on that one. There's a picture on Facebook of Steve sniffing it and you just in the corner of the shot. So
yeah, that's there's a video to that as well.
Looking forward to that. Right then, I did ask some of you to, just so we got a flavour as to what you lovely people bought at Waxstock. Karl, did you listen to the brief and bring what your favourite product was, or just something you'd like to share that you bought? Because it's always interesting to see what you guys come back with.
I feel really bad because of there was a store right next to Rachel's. So
I know unbelievable.
I've got to show that off anyway. But
hold that up again. What is it?
So it's the ODK Regen acidic shampoo.
You wanted to, you're talking about getting that before you went to Waxstock, weren't you? Good.
Yeah, because I live in the hard water area. I've been looking at acidic shampoos and all that, and Jet's one of my favourite shampoos anyway. Where's George with a plug when you want him? Yeah, when they said they were just releasing that just before Waxstock set off, it was like one of my top buys I had to go for me.
Good man, Rab. Good man. What was it? What was you showed us beforehand?
And the HBS Waxstock wax.
Very, very good. Very, very good. Good man. Nick?
I didn't actually, as Karl said about having a list before, I think it's very important to go to Waxstock with a list.
Okay.
Because otherwise, like you say, you're a kid in a sweet shop. So I've got a garage full anyway. So I went with no list with the intentions of not spending a lot of money.
Did you buy anything?
I bought cloths from Slims and that was it. But I was lucky enough because I made top 16. I got a bucket full of goodies, which included, I think, something from nearly every stall there. Quite a lot of Nanolect stuff. So far, my favourite is the Infinity Wax Millions shampoo.
seen a lot of you review that. What are your collective thoughts on it? Good?
Really nice. The smell's not overpowering, so it's not a massive smell, but it's nice. But the suds go on for days.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's phenomenal.
Rab, what did you buy, Rab?
So Carol's a ready thing. He does one. I got it as well. I went with the idea of. I mean, I took a good bit of money with me, with the expectations of going back and forward from the car, but only planned to really buy one kind of more expensive thing in my eyes, and it was the actual first thing that I bought, and it was the first thing that I smelt. I literally went from buying it at that stall to going to the next stall to say hello to that person and saying, hold on a minute, I need to open this and smell it. And it got all unwrapped in there. But that was, I mean, we were outside talking and Hugo came up to us. Didn't even know who this guy was, and he'd like, shake the hand. I'm Hugo. I was like, oh, wow. Got talking to him and his partner, and then they mentioned about these waxes. And the conversation, it was literally a case of straight in, straight to them, and went, can I get one? Because there wasn't many.
Lovely human beings, the both of them, aren't they?
Oh, they're not absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
He did catch me. He did catch me, what I would call kind of cheating on him. Because later on I was standing at the Angel Wax stall with a billet as well, having a sniff of that. But I'm actually going to visit them tomorrow. The little factory tour, and John's got an idea for something for me to record. But I have said that I'm going to be coming. I'll be get myself another billet as well. That lemon, the lemon was phenomenal.
Talking of billet collectors, leads me straight on to Steve. What did you buy? I know. I'm hoping that you've got the posh wax, the pinky one, the tall wax. Was it? I know there's the billet one, but they also sell. Was it dodojuice wax as well? Have you got that? I just want to have a look.
I have it. I've got it. Yes,
in the tin.
Excellent. Yeah, I want to see it.
I've got it.
Yeah.
So first up, yes, I was lucky enough to bag a Hugo HB Source billet. So, like Rab, beautiful. I went straight away within 3 o'clock hit, bang, straight into one shop, straight to the next one. That was it. I was done. So that's the Waxstock. Yeah.
That's the one.
Comes with a tin, obviously taking it out of the tin. But I missed out last year, as you know, Andy. So this year, I was hell bent on making sure I secured one of the dodojuice limited edition waxes. I also got a few of these. The Rapid Detailer made up.
Yeah, we haven't told about that. The Infinity Wax did a really nice thing, didn't they? They had what was it? Make your own QD. You get to do a bit of alchemy.
The detail bar.
That's right.
It's good. The detail bar.
About that, because totally.
I think that's such a great idea, and it's almost. I didn't go to the first Waxstock, but at the first Waxstock they did live wax making, didn't they? So it's sort of reminiscent of that. At 10-year
anniversary. They used to do that. That's years ago. And Jay done a spot, didn't he? But I was going to say I didn't want to allude on it and in at the start. So yes, I had a few. The girls come on the Sunday with Carly, so they all had a QD made up. I also was lucky to get an introduction from Bert with Nanolex. So they've given me one of their ceramic coatings, which is supposed to have a lot of filling capabilities. They sent me on my merry way with a whole bucket full of stuff. But obviously some of the stuff I can't share with you was from our friends Soft 99 or good friends of mine. They've sent me away with some pre-release products to get testing, which I've been using. And typical Soft 99, outstanding so far. They just think outside the box. There's some bits I'll send you some pictures, Andy, or I'll send them into the group. What they've done, just the little things. That's all I'm going to say. The little things. You're going to be blown away by it. So I think that was just looking behind me. That's the majority of the stuff I got. And was gifted or bought. So
next time I see you, I want to have a look at that wax, the pinky one wax, because it just looks a work of art. It works of art. In fact, Carl, you was talking of Soft 99. You got some Glaco, didn't you? Was it Glaco or something? That's right. Yeah. So go and watch my video. Apply it. No, it's good. It's good. And you've got quite a lot from Soft 99 recently, haven't you? So you're going to be busy. You're going to be busy doing Soft 99. Good as well, because I've got some Soft 99 waxes I haven't used. So I'm going to wait for your review really and get some top tips on that, because I've only used their old one. The old one that everyone talks about. I haven't used their new ones. I've got one of their waxes here. So
they've
really,
sent
really
me
good.
a lot. They've sent me a lot, Andy. So we can.
Cool.
I'm more than happy. We could do a collab on it, where I can come and help you do some of the detailing together, and you can help me do some and show me the editing process, perhaps.
More than happy. More than happy. Good stuff. Good times. Sean, you haven't got anything to show, have you?
Yes.
Good. Oh, you little... I can't swear. I can't swear. Can I? You got one as well. Well, it's my own fault for not going in with it.
I've got one of them. I got the HB Source billet as well.
Fantastic.
Just goes without saying, really. To be honest, he'd already put my name on it. I'd already sort of,
teed it up.
Yeah, give him a little nudge. I got some of these sponges that we were talking about, Hagen, and they also give me the IDA test that they did, and a test from Birmingham University as well. So I'm going to do a review on them, and I'm going to include some of that information that they give me. So that's pretty cool. Got a few different ceramic coatings that I want to do some tests with, but I think I was so busy that the trouble that I had is some of the things that I wanted to buy because I didn't make a list, as Nick said. I've come away empty-handed with. I wanted to get a load of ODK stuff that were new released, and I wanted to get some detail bug stuff as well. But just by the time I'd sort of, just my head were just all over the place. So got plenty.
Busy man. At least you came away with someone, because I know how busy you are. So it's good that you got an opportunity to get some of the waxes. And if anyone wants to sell me that posh wax, chat to me afterwards. Brian, you must have come on. Brian, you got some rim mats, didn't you? Excellent. Good stuff. What else did you come away with?
I've tried them and give them a good. I'll give them a good weekend. I did a bit of.
Yeah, saw your review on it. They're good bits of kit, aren't they?
Oh, fantastic! I got the other bits of them Eigen things. I got the. This is what Rachel was showing. They're a bit awkward on this camera.
Yeah, it's because you got a virtual backdrop.
And I didn't get that wax, but I got this cheeky little wax here.
Oh, from HB Source.
Yeah, so
Scarlet, brilliant. Oh, in the red pot. Nice wax that. Nice wax that.
And I picked a few bit of merch up.
Good man. Excellent. Productive. Right, we're gonna go on for a few more. It's 1:28. I just want to throw it. I'm going to come to Steve at the end, because we always leave it for Steve to talk about stuff that's coming up. I've got loads and loads of questions, but I think we've pretty much covered them all. Questions. What was your favourite brand? I think we've already covered that. Does anyone want to say anything before we sort of hand over to Steve to do our sort of what's coming up bit? Rab, feel free.
Yeah. I know Danny isn't here now, but he did say that he asked me to say thank you to Michael from Rim Mats, because he got a set of rim mats from them. And he just wanted to say a big thanks to them as well.
Fantastic. Nick?
Just want to take my hat off to John Hull for the organisation. I could tell when he was moving cars in, he was really stressed. But yeah, fair play to him for organising something like that and pulling it off as well.
And like Steve said earlier, the planning for 2024 has probably already started. It's a constantly evolving machine, isn't it? No, cheers.
Well,
mate.
actually, on that, Andy, Andy, just quickly, sorry to interrupt.
It's all right.
Me being me, jumped in straight to Dom afterwards. Dom. Great show. I've got some ideas. Steve. Whoa. Give us a month, and then we can start. So
that's it. Yeah.
In Steve form, I've started.
Absolutely. Sean.
So I just wanted to. There was a guy who came over from Ireland called Chris Cribbin off TCB. And he came over with a friend of his called Paddy.
Right, you're right. Yeah, quite posts quite a lot on the group.
yeah, he's a really nice guy. He came over with his friend. They spent Saturday afternoon at Waxstock, and I bumped into him, had a bit of a chat, and I'd said to him, if you fancy a drink in the casino later, give us a holler. And he did. So me and Geordie spent a few hours late on Saturday night having a few beers with a couple of Irish fellas, which, as you can imagine, went down an absolute storm. So I ended up dragging Geordie back to the hotel. He was in a bad way on Sunday morning, but I was feeling pretty good. And if I remember rightly, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw someone who looked similar to Rachel, and she was getting a bit worse for wear as well.
Really?
It could have been a sister. Yeah, it could have been. But yeah, so I just want to say a massive thanks to everybody that I bumped into from TCB. Josh from Wax Gurus as well came in on the Sunday, and he came to meet everybody who we'd set up with that that mystery wax. So it was nice to see him. He also was getting a lot of compliments from Jay from Bouncers, Dan from ODK, Kev, basically just saying, you know, for a young lad, he's doing a great job. So that was really nice for him as well. It was quite an emotional moment. But yeah, just everybody, just want to say a massive thank you. Also, the guy from IK Sprayers, a Spanish fella, I can't remember his name. We had a glass of red wine on Saturday night. Really nice guy, proper nice to chat to, and he gave me a couple of the 360 sprayer bottles as well, which was quite kind of him. So yeah, just really great people all right. Oh, and as well, last one was the guys from Garage Therapy. When we sort of had just got set up on Saturday morning, stressed out, they came over to say hello, nice, you know, just to welcome us in, which was really nice. We spent a few hours chatting with them on Saturday night. But yeah, really great guys, really nice to meet them. I think it's Faz as well. That guy is crazy. And as he said to Rab, he was like, oh yeah, I've been watching your videos online. I really like what you're doing and stuff like that. So yeah, massive thank you to everyone.
You need to thank God as well. That was like an Oscars. That was like an Oscars speech, Sean.
It was, wasn't it? I'm out of here.
Beautiful, Sean. Very sincere words. Thanks, mate. Rab, are you happy? Rachel, do you want to say any final thoughts before I hand over to Steve?
Yeah, I'll just keep it short. I'll just say thank you to everyone who came over and bought something from us. Everyone who showed support. Yeah, probably. And even if it's like someone like Rab, you know, he didn't buy anything off us, but what he did do was somebody who came over and asked, what do you recommend? And Rab took over and started going, that and that. And that's the kind of thing. You know, yeah, that was it. So it's just that kind of support which means so much to us. So I just want to say thank you to everyone.
No, brilliant.
I actually done the same at Mile Deep and made a sale as well.
Did you get commission?
I did 2 sales with them.
I reckon I could sell everyone at Waxstock Shield because I am that obsessed with it. I would not leave them until they bought a bottle. So
that was what I sold.
Good man. Well done.
Two guys came up, they were talking away, and they were like, I can't buy anything else. And I was like, look, independent, nothing to do with them. I've reviewed it. If there's anything in this town you need to buy, is that. And then I looked around, and the 2 guys had ended up, they'd bought 1 each.
Good stuff. Good time. Brian, quickly, have you got anything else before I hand over via Karl to Steve?
Oh, pretty much like everybody. I'd like to. It was a good turnout. We all had a bit of interaction by the sounds of it. Even you know, just standing around and opening on Kim's corner for the mad half an hour at the end. I mean, that was really good. They did some fantastic deals for people on there. So good, big shout out for everybody. I think we've all done a good job and made a presence felt, and I'm sure Steve will put it on that when he comes to put it all together.
Yeah, nice one, Brian. Nick, did I come to you? Have I come to you, Nick?
Yeah.
Excellent. Karl, last one, and then I'll hand over to the news channel that is Steve to tell us of up and coming events and round things off for us nicely like he always does.
Well, first of all, I've got because someone's made me feel guilty. Rachel, I apologise for not coming around your store and buying something. And no, I just want to say thank you to everybody who
make him suffer, Rachel. Come on, give him the disappointing mum thing. Come on.
But I just want to say thank you to everybody that's stopped and chatted with me, whether that be the trades, giving me advice and everything on that, and to the more importantly to the guys from TCB who stopped, had a chat with me, made me feel at home, and just made the day a lot easier for me. So thank you.
Cheers, Karl. And Karl's been in detailing 6 months, and look at his passion and enthusiasm, and I think that's what you know, the car boutique social media detailing industry needs people like him who talks positively. So I will, before I head over, Steve, thank you to everyone. So Karl, Nick, Sean, obviously Steve, Rab, Rachel, and Brian, thank you very much for spending basically 1 hour, nearly 40 minutes. I'll try and edit it a bit of it down, but I think it's all good content, and people can sort of chip away and listen to it. It will be uploaded, the video podcast on YouTube, and obviously a few days later I'll get it on Spotify. So thank you for everyone. And Steve, I will hand over to you for your final words and a bit of an update as to what we've got cooking in the background.
Perfect. Thanks, Andy, as always. Again, I just want to round up and finish off like everybody else has touched on. Some of the responses we got from, you know, Garage Therapy, Infinity Wax, Sonax, you know, all these people have heard of TCB. We're all really impressed and couldn't thank all of us enough. So it was really nice, really, you know, heartfelt to hear all that feedback. So again, if I've missed anybody off of that, thank you. We'll hopefully see you Waxstock 2024. But just to round up what's going on for the rest of this year, TCB wise, put it in your diary, September the 3rd, 12 till 3 p.m. Caffeine machine. Just to be clear, you buy your ticket direct and the ticket is £10 per car. If you've got a car with 10 seats, that's 10 people coming in. It's still only £10. Pay them direct. Say Sunday, the 3rd of September. It's going to be a caffeine machine meet with TCB. It's not solely just for us. If you know anything about caffeine machine, the place will be packed. You can't help it. It's good. And I would suggest you get in early to get your tickets. I purchased mine today. I think I dropped that in the post that I've pinned on the top of TCB. So grab that. And breaking news now, UK Detailing Academy have also reached out and would like to offer us a Saturday to practice polishing, products, reviews. The day will be for us, whichever way we want to use it, regarding anything UK Detailing Academy, you know, left for us, whatever we want to do with that day. I suggest, obviously, most people want to get or break into the machine polishing. If you want to try and think that a Rupes might be for you, or a Flex, or you can't make up your mind or the decision, then you can come and try both. If you want to see about ceramic coatings, wet sanding, all that sort of stuff will be coming. That's in the last quarter of the year. Also, I'm in touch with getting is it third wax this year, Andy? It's the
we're
the
on
third, isn't
wax
it?
number. Yeah, so I did the first
I did one.
You did the second one. I did the third one. It's your turn for the next wax.
So it's my turn. So wax number 4 come in. It's called number 8. That is what won the TCB wax off competition. So we're just securing the jars. So they will be coming very shortly. I'm in contact with our good friend to get those sorted. So keep a lookout. That's a pretty much of a rundown. Please reach out to me again with the caffeine machine. You've got to go direct, but feel free to drop me an inbox if I can help in any way, shape, or form. Reach out. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Steve. I'm going to final Karl. Say lubricity.
Lubricity.
Oh, it was a running joke at work that you keep stuttering on that word. You've disappointed now. So, everyone, thank you very much. That's podcast number 7. I'll get it uploaded as soon as possible. So, cue the outro.